nothing more than dust. Search but you stay lost. We are reaching for the stars, but we're making this too hard. And I wonder where you are. Mysterious, that's the part you always show, 'cause you're too curious. Maybe you should take it slow. Mysterious, that's the part you always show, 'cause you're too curious. Maybe you should take it slow. We're dreaming in the dark. We're nothing more than dust. You search but you stay lost. Search but you stay lost. We're reaching for the stars. We're making this too hard. And I wonder where you are. Mysterious, that's the part you always show, 'cause you're too curious. Maybe you should take it slow. Mysterious, that's the part you always show, 'cause you're too curious. Maybe you should take it slow. I need you again, so stick around. So stick around. world around us. They don't need to know. Come find me where the sun sets and say you'll never let me go. You're the one I want. Say you need me. Hide where I go. Don't let go. I know you feel the same. Say you need me. 'Cause you'll always be my broken love. Broken love. Broken love. Broken love. 'Cause you'll always be my broken love. 'Cause you'll always be my broken love. You're so don't let it go. I know you feel it. 'Cause you'll always be my broken love. They don't know how we love when we're lying close. With you, I know I belong. Without all eyes on us, you're the one I want. Say you need me. Hide where I go. Don't let go. I know you feel the same. Say you need me. 'Cause you'll always be my broken love. Broken love. Cause you'll always be my broken love. Cause you'll always be my broken love. You're so don't let go. I know you feel it. 'Cause you'll always be my broken love. We are dreaming in the dark. We are nothing more than dust. Search but you stay lost. We are reaching for the stars, but we're making this too hard. And I wonder where you are. Mysterious, that's the part you always show. 'Cause you're too curious. Maybe you should take it slow. Mysterious, that's the part you always show. 'Cause you're too curious. Maybe you should take it slow. We're dreaming in the dark. We are nothing more than dust. You search but you stay lost. Search but you stay lost. We're reaching for the stars. We're making this too hard. And I wonder where you are. Mysterious, that's the part you always show. 'Cause you're too curious. Maybe you should take it slow. Mysterious, that's the part you always show. 'Cause you're too should take it slow.
I need you again, so stick around. So stick around.
Leave the world around us. They don't need to know. Come find me where the sun sets and say you'll never let me go. You're the one I want. Say you need me. Hide where I want. Don't let go. I know you feel the same. Say you need me. 'Cause you'll always be my broken love. Broken love. Cause you'll always be my broken love. Cause you'll always be my broken love. You're so leave me. Don't let it go. I know you feel it. 'Cause you'll always be my broken love. They don't know how we love when we're letting close. With you, I know I belong. Without all eyes on us, you're the one I want. Say you need me. Hide where I love. Don't let go. I know you feel the same. Say you need me. 'Cause you'll always be my broken love. Broken love. Broken love. Broken love. 'Cause you'll always be my broken love. You'll always be my broken. We are dreaming in the dark. We are nothing more than dust. Search but you stay lost. We are reaching for the stars, but we're making this too hard. And I wonder where you are. Mysterious, that's the part you always show. 'Cause you're too curious. Maybe you should take it slow. Mysterious, that's the part you always show. 'Cause you're too curious. Maybe you should take it slow. We're dreaming in the dark. We are nothing more than dust. You search but you stay lost.
Search for you, stay low.
We're reaching for the stars, but we're making this too hard. And I wonder where you are. Mysterious, that's the part you always show. 'Cause you're too curious. Maybe you should take it slow. Mysterious, that's the part you always show. 'Cause you're too curious. Maybe you should take it slow. Reaching for the stars. I wonder where you are.
Yo, what's happening? What's happening? Good morning, y'all, or good afternoon to some. Good morning to others. If you're on Cali time, good morning. If you're on New York time, good afternoon. How are y'all doing on this Wednesday? Here's the StreamYard link. Let me go pin this bad boy. So today is oh gosh dang it, hold on. All right, there's the link, so it's pinned already. But anyhow, so we kind of went over a bit of Leilani's stuff because I mean, some of you guys were around for Leilani, Simon, Quentin, Simon. Some of you guys were not. For those of you guys that were around, you guys know how crazy things got. It was pretty damn intense there for a little bit. It was very emotional. A lot of people had emotions surrounding this case, whether it was, good, bad, or indifferent. It was very emotional for a lot of people. So let's, you know, keep it cordial in the chat. We are not all going to agree. Everybody, there's going to be different opinions, and that's okay. It's all good. We don't all have to think the same. We don't all have to be the same. It's all good. Just keep it respectful. You know what I mean? Um, there's a lot of people that can relate to a lot of these situations, whether it's, addiction, family dysfunction, troubles, things going on, arrest records, things like that, living different lifestyles and such. So we need to be very careful on how we judge. I know I'm guilty of it. So I just know, it's very hurtful to some. So, and yeah, Kathy, it was awful what happened down there. It was awful. It should have never happened. That should have never happened the way it did. I don't think they ever should have been able to protest outside her house like that. And I will never, ever think that that's okay. Um, I'll never think that's okay. Yeah, I do. We still have them saved. Yeah, we have a lot of her stuff saved. Actually, I have a lot of those live streams, even the ones that were put like private, because she had came on and stuff. I still have all those privated. I mean, I didn't delete them. I just privated them in case any, there were any questions or anything came up that we would need it. Yeah. Prayers for Quentin's family. I mean, it's going to be really tough. It's going to be really, really tough on a lot of the family. We don't know these people, but we can all relate and have sympathy that if it was someone in our family, it would be very hard. Montana Jade, I think we're going to find out a little. I think there's going to be a lot of things that we didn't like. For example, the 911 call that was played on Vinny's last night. We never heard all of that. I don't recall ever hearing that full 911 call. So, kind of hit me in the pit of my stomach. You know what I mean? I don't recall hearing that. Maybe we did, but it's been 2 years ago, and I don't remember hearing that. Well, I don't recall saying I had sympathy for her unaliving her baby. Aisha, is that your name? Aisha. Um, I do have sympathy for the family and the neighbors that were attacked for almost protested against and like had their windows banged on and just things like that, like the signs and just all the bullshit. You know what I'm saying? I feel really bad for those people. I mean, I don't think that's right, and I don't think it's okay. Oh, you're not talking about me, you mean like in general? Okay, I see what you mean. See what you mean. So they did jury selection today. Let's see. And this is the news clip that they were out there about, I'm guessing 6 hours ago is what it says. Well, this one's 4 days ago. Here's one from 4 days ago, and then here's one from 6 hours ago. So this one says, basically when will she go to trial, which we know it's now. It was supposed to be Monday and Tuesday, I believe, but let me take it back here real quick.
on your.
So this one here was from 6 hours ago. And they also did rule that there will be cameras in the courtroom, so it will be streamed via Law and Crime. It'll be streamed several different. I know the news will be there. A couple different news channels will be streaming it, and like I said, Law and Crime will be streaming it. Yeah, they did. The judge did rule that there can be and will be cameras in the courtroom today.
Happening today, a Chatham County mother accused of killing her toddler is set to go to trial. Leilani Simon's case goes before Superior Court Judge Tammy Stokes.
News 3's Genevieve Lund is live outside the Chatham County Courthouse with details on the case. Genevieve, good morning.
Good morning. 2 years ago, the Coastal Empire lost a toddler that rocked the entire area. Mother Leilani Simons was arrested after investigators found her son's remains. And later today, her trial will begin here. This past Saturday marked 2 years since the death of 20-month-old Quentin Simon. His mother is now set to go on trial, facing 19 charges, including murder. Simon reported her son missing on October 5th, 2022, but after an extensive search, his remains were found a month later in a Chatham County landfill, leading to her arrest. And 2 years ago, when Chatham County Police first received the call that the child was missing, they were hopeful they'd find him alive and unharmed. In a news conference they shared, they found evidence pointing towards his mother being responsible for his disappearance.
From A to Z, we were 100% committed to bringing justice for Quentin. And we believed that this was the right move today to be able to do that. She doesn't deserve a Thanksgiving, quite frankly, if I can go off script a little bit. Quentin deserves that.
Jury selection begins here at 9 a.m. and WSAV will be in the courtroom with the latest information, and we'll have that all updated on air and online. Reporting at the Chatham County Courthouse, Genevieve Lund, WSAV News 3 on your side.
Thank you.
So they actually have like a questionnaire here. It's on. We'll pull it real quick because it's on Twitter, I believe. Let's see on the tweeters. We know somebody who used to pull the tweeters, a tweeter troll. Let's go pull this up real quick. I'm pretty sure this is where they talk about them being able to have the cameras in the courtroom.
Good morning, everyone. We are live here outside of the Chatham County Courthouse where a high-profile trial will get underway today. Jury selection will begin later this morning for Leilani Simon. She is the Chatham County mother who was accused of killing her 20-month-old son, Quentin Simon. Leilani is facing 19 criminal counts here. She's facing 1 count of malice murder, 2 counts of felony murder, 1 count each of false reporting of a crime and concealing the death of another, and 14 counts of making a false statement. Essentially, according to police, she continued to lie to them about what happened to Quentin. When she called 911 the day that he reportedly disappeared, she said that she believed someone took him from the home. Now, let's take a look here at the jail time that she could face if found guilty. For felony and malice murder, Leilani's looking at life in prison without parole. Concealing the death of another is up to 10 years in jail and or a fine. False reporting is a year in jail and or also a fine, and making false statements is anywhere from 1 to 5 years and or a fine of up to $1,000. Now, court and jury selection, like we mentioned, it is starting at 9 o'clock this morning with Superior Court Judge Tammy Stokes presiding over this case. Frank, we've been following this for a very long time, so it will certainly be interesting to hear some of the evidence in this case.
I'll tell you what, again, 9 o'clock this morning, that jury selection starts, so a lot of eyes going to be on the courthouse. All right, Em, thanks so much. We'll check back in with you here in just a little bit.
So, yeah, they are already out there reporting. I knew they were going to be out there, and I figured it was going to be a big thing. I know Dolly's already there. Oh, you guys are trolling today. Sad little coin. You big mad, huh? That PayPal pool got filled. Did you guys start reporting already? Come on now. You really gonna do this during a baby's murder trial? Come on now. Show them what you're working with. Shell member for 7 months. Justice for Quentin. Thank you. I appreciate that, love. Thank you. Yeah, I knew after last night they were gonna be fucking pissed again. I don't give a fuck. Go scam some more toys. For them childrens. You care so much about. Sav's been punching air. Little sewage. That's her new name, sewage. She's been punching air. Stay mad. Stay the fuck over there and stay mad. Let's pull this other paper. So they went in today, and these are the questions that were asked of the jury. We'll go over them and read them real quick. I was going to play Vinny's video. We watched it last night, and man, that call really fucked with me. I don't know. Let's see. I'll play it, but I don't really want to play the whole thing, because we did Vinny's we watched it last night, kind of like a refresher. But it was a little bit rough. But here, we'll play this for anybody that wasn't in here last night, because it was kind of late. So, man, you guys, there was just a baby that was mauled to death by 3 pit bulls, and the baby just passed away. Okay. We'll pop this call up real fast and you guys can listen to it. I don't know. I don't recall ever hearing this whole 911 call, but maybe you guys will remember differently when you hear it. But it was definitely wasn't what I remembered hearing back 2 years ago. But then again, I don't think they ever played the whole call either. So here we go.
Daniel, who have the phone and are making the call in the morning. It's about 9:40. Take a listen.
Shout 911, what is your emergency? Yeah, I need we believe come from kidnapped. Yeah. You said someone's been kidnapped? Yeah, we... Your 1-year-old son? Dad! When was the last time you seen him? I saw him this morning when I left at 6.
Now, see, when he says that, it's super off to me, because when they do the autopsy, they said that he had actually passed away in the middle of the night, prior to 6 a.m. I would say probably midnight, 1 o'clock, maybe. I think that was what they said, but you can't tell me that you didn't know. You cannot tell me that you did not know something was going on. Come on now.
Okay, have you guys gone outside to check the area?
Yeah.
How old is he?
And he can't open the door.
So you think someone broke in? Has there been any time to break it in?
No. No breaking in, the door was open. Was it unlocked? Yeah, but the front door had bolts though, but yeah, it was. No, I can't find them nowhere. I was there everywhere, and he's so scared, he's shouting everywhere. Okay, give me a description on him. Give me a description. He's blue eyes, white skin. He's got blue green eyes, tan skin, dark hair. He's what now? You got tan skin, dark brown hair. His eyes are like a brown green hazel. Okay. And he's black, white, Hispanic. He's Hawaiian. He's what now? Hawaiian. Hawaiian.
So, okay, hold on. Miss Upper says she went to the dumpster a little after 1 a.m. And then he left for work. He's saying that he's seen him laying there in the crib at 5:30. But obviously he didn't. I mean, apparently he's going to say he was asleep or whatever. You know what I mean? I'm guessing that's probably what he's going to say. The boyfriend. There was Leilani, the boyfriend, and the brother. They were all three in the house, and they were all three drug users. Hold on. I wonder if the money the YouTubers paid the babysitter is going to affect her credibility. You know, I'm really curious about that too, to be honest. Curious about that too, B. Tim.
It's you listen to the call and you're wondering. I mean, because it has happened. We've covered that story where someone breaks into a home in the middle of the night and takes a young child. It can happen. It has.
Yes, it can happen. It has happened, but in my opinion, we knew that that's not what had happened. I don't think any of us thought that that's what had happened when this came about.
Has happened. But you look at a case like this and a story and an investigation, and a child goes missing from a house. I mean, there's an obvious first question for all of this, and it's our first question of our investigation tonight, which is, who was at the house that day? Who was there? It's an important question. Who are the people that are in the house where Quentin was staying? Let me bring in my guests who are going to help us through all this. Joining me, forensic death investigator, professor of forensics at Jacksonville State University, and host of the very popular Body Bags podcast, Joseph Scott Morgan, and podcast host and Pop Crime TV reporter, Lauren Conlon with us. Thank you both for being here. Great to see you. I wanted to put up a quick little timeline here because this is a story where a little bit of information has come out. Not a ton, but some information has come out. This is significant. 5:29 a.m., Quentin's babysitter receives a text message saying no services would be needed for Quentin that day. That's 5:29 a.m. 6 a.m., baby Quentin is reportedly last seen in his playpen at the home. 9:39, Leilani and her boyfriend Daniel call 911 to report Quentin missing. Then we get to 1 o'clock and the FBI immediately jumping in to help with this search down in Savannah, Georgia. So Lauren, as we look at who's at the house.
Yeah, and the FBI jumped in this one quick. Like, they were not fucking around. Not even a little bit.
House that night. So Leilani's obviously there. It seems her boyfriend Daniel is there. Who else is in this home?
Well, Vinny, I first want to clarify that this home belongs to Leilani's mother, Billie Jo Howell, and her husband, Thomas Howell. And Leilani and Daniel and the three kids have a room downstairs, while the upstairs is occupied by Billie Jo and Thomas, and also Leilani's older brother, Paul Simon. And yes, that's his real name, Paul Simon. But
she said, yes, that's his real name, Paul Simon. But yes, yeah, it is what it is, Beth. That's just what it is. That's what it is. You know what I mean? It's Griffmas time. I mean, come on, we know what time it is. Merry Christmas. It's on its way.
Billy Joe and Thomas were not there at the time. As far as we know, it was just Leilani, Thomas, and the 3 kids.
Joseph Scott Morgan, looking at that timeline, the first thing that jumps out to me, 5:29 canceling the babysitter. You don't need to come over. And this is someone from the neighborhood who has spoken about the case, but is, likely going to be an important witness in all this. And then at 6 o'clock, it seems that the boyfriend says, yeah, I saw Quentin at 6 a.m. when I was leaving for work. I'm looking at those two things. I wonder, well, why don't you need the babysitter?
Yeah, one of the things that we look for in investigations then is, particularly when you're talking about, because, initially this is a missing child case. All right. So you begin to think about that. And one of the questions you're going to ask, is there anything that indicates that behaviors have deviated from the norm? So when you would question a parent about something like this, something so horrible, one of the first questions out of the gate is, do you ever cancel the babysitter? And
well, the babysitter actually was supposed to be having them, and she had to go to a church event and drop them off to Leilani. And then Leilani, something happened that night to Quentin, and her and Danny both, I believe, called the babysitter and told him at 5:30 that she wasn't needed. However, she left and went to the dumpster at 1 o'clock in the morning. So you mean to tell me for 5 hours you didn't know that the baby was gone? You didn't know she left? Like, you didn't know? I just have a hard time believing that. And then they called the babysitter, said they didn't need him. So then from 6 o'clock to 9 o'clock when they called, when she, so she had 3 hours, basically 3 hours to make up a story or whatever she did. I don't know what the fuck she did in them 3 hours. But it sounded like when she called him at work and said that she couldn't find him, and then he came home and called the babysitter and said, was he there? Did he come over there? Did he walk over there? He's gone. We can't find him. She didn't have him. Then they made that call together. But during that call, it sounds like they're talking to each other. More so, like, it sounds like they're having a conversation with each other while they're on the phone with the dispatch, as I was saying last night. Sounds really odd. I just have a really hard time believing he didn't know anything that happened or anything that went on, or,
And if so, how frequently have you done this? And is this the normal time of day that you would do this? Remember, this is done.
Now, I do know Danny, which is her youngest daughter's dad, who was there in the house that night, and the brother will both be testifying. So we will hear more, from them when the trial goes, when as it's going on. So I don't know. I think a lot of the questions we have will be answered, but I think there will be also more questions after this as well. And yeah, the timing is very off. It's just off. Good morning, CB. Crime Traveler, I can see you, love. It will come out in trial. He must not have been there when she did what she did. He thought he was in the crib. Well, that's what he says on here. He says he was allegedly he was asleep, but he says on here at 5, that they called the babysitter and told the babysitter, that she wasn't needed at 5:30, and I'm guessing the kids went over there to the babysitters when he left for work, because the other two were over there, and I mean they went over there just fine, but the middle one wasn't going. That's odd. And that would be odd to me. If I was the babysitter, that would be odd as hell to me. Why do I have two and not the other one?
From texting. So if there's a history of this, you can go back and look at the text if this is their normal piece, if this is the way they do it. And right you are, Ben, when you talk about this point of contact, they're going to be essential in establishing the timeline and also prior behaviors.
Yeah, Lauren, this to me, the canceling of the babysitter at 5:29 to me is a little odd. It's a lot odd. Like if you don't need a babysitter, you should know the night before. When you wake up at 5 o'clock and say, "Oh, we don't need a babysitter today," that defies logic, I think, to anyone.
Yes, I agree with you. It's incredibly odd. As a mother, I'm not waking up at 5:30 a.m. and texting my babysitter. And I think that this babysitter really cared about Quentin. There are
See, the thing is, Billy had hired the babysitter, and she was supposed to have had the children while she was out of town at work. The babysitter had some kind of a function or something to go to. So she took the kids over and dropped them off to Leilani and the boyfriend, where Leilani and the boyfriend kept them overnight. She had just had the baby. So Billy Joe wasn't made aware of any of this until the next day. But when she was supposed to take the kids back over there, she only took the two. She said at 5:30 that she didn't need her to have watch Quentin, which, if you recall, Billy Joe came back to town, and when she did, she went to the babysitter's house and went the fuck off, because the babysitter was supposed to have had and was paid to have all three kids and to have kept them in her care while she was gone. I had to do a refresher because, man, there was a lot of stuff, like I said, in the past year and a half, 2 years that I've forgotten all about. Like, my memory was kind of, you know what I mean? There was a lot of things that I didn't remember. She took her kids to McDonald's. Yeah, after their church deal, right? Pretty sure they had a church function or something like that they had to go to. Kathy P, are you doing okay, baby? You hanging in there? And yeah, she may have cared about Quinn, but she was still a huge ass liar. Yeah, she was.
reports that this babysitter was actually the one that got Leilani to call 911 in the first place, or got Daniel to call. So it's interesting. I mean, this was just the start of Leilani's lies, but I know that you're going to get to that, so I won't give anything away. But yeah, it's the start.
Yeah, we've got a lot to get to. Well, let's listen to Billy Joe, who's Leilani Simon's mother, Quentin's grandma, and as Lauren said, the owner of the home.
Luca Vega, yeah. In my opinion, yeah, she did. Frenchie tribe member for 23 months. Looks like he smells like patchouli. Danny, 2022. Yeah, I remember when everybody's seen what Danny looked like, and they were like, what the hell? He had his dreads in. Let's see here.
Did she have her own rooms within that residence that were?
Yes, sir.
Who did she reside here with?
Danny Youngkin, my husband Thomas Howell, and my son Paul Simon, and the three children.
3 minor children.
All right, Joseph, so we're laying out who's in the house. So you're investigating this, and everyone who has access to the house or lives in the house obviously needs to be interviewed, and their story has to be verified, because that's the first place you have to look when a child is missing.
Yeah, you're right. But, you know, one of the initial statements that came out relative to this person is that they stated that the child had been taken or snatched. You know, to think about that, just let that seep into the groundwater there and think about that a little bit. Why is it that your mind flies to that issue immediately? And if that's the case, and if you can come up with that supposition.
Snazzy, you talking about Quentin's bio dad? The actual trial starts tomorrow, B-Fam. They did jury selection today. Hold on, SS, what you talking about? Beth said, are you talking about the little girl named Cleo that was kidnapped from the camping tent? Hold on, Sling and Sugar says, hold on, everyone needs to say a little prayer for Nana BJ. This has to be very hard for her to have to relive. Well, yeah. Oh, absolutely. I mean, I'm sure she probably has PTSD, and I'm sure it brings back everything from the time she got the phone call to the time she drove 14 hours home to figure out what was going on, to being lied to by Leilani, to being told story after story, to having people outside of her fucking house while she's trying to figure out what the fuck went on in her house. I mean, it just was, I'm sure she's a fucking mess right now. But from my understanding, at first, I heard she was going to the trial. Now I heard she is not going to the trial. I actually believe she was going to head out and take care of some stuff, but I'm not sure. I guess we won't know until we find out tomorrow. Hold on, baby. I thought I recall them saying they did forensics in the house, which made them have the assumption Quentin was unalive there. Well, I'm guessing so, but like I said, I don't know, honey. We're gonna have to find out as we go. And yes, feel better, Chaz. I'm sorry that you had to deal with that today. I couldn't imagine how to turn your own daughter in after everything else. Well, yeah, she told him she would. She said, if my daughter did this and she's responsible for this, I will personally bring her to you and turn her in. I don't, she said many times she can't save her from what she's done. This is on her. Yeah, I don't know why they canceled. Well, we know why they canceled the babysitter now, because Quentin was passed away. He had already been, in my opinion, murdered. So if he was already murdered, they have no choice but to call and cancel the babysitter. You know what I'm saying? What else they gonna say? So it just was kind of odd that, of course, they're going to cancel the babysitter. I mean, there's nothing else. They can't say anything else. He's not there. I mean,
the question is, who in the hell is coming and going out of that house on a daily basis, on an hourly basis? And why is that house unsecured? Those are the big questions that you're going to be asking, because first off, who knows who the occupants are in that house? If they have an awareness that this little child, this precious little baby, is in that house, who would have that information, that would know that that child is there, and that would be so motivated to snatch that child away from that family and run off with them? That's a big question here.
And the other thing, Lauren, that we heard in the 911 call was the door is open. But then the boyfriend says, yeah, but it's got bolts, but it's open. And very clear to say, well, Quentin can't open the door. But the door is open. You live in an area like this and there's woods in a neighborhood. It seems you should be spending some time outside searching for the child, like frantically searching for the child.
I agree with you. And I thought that was a little.
Well, and I do have to say, it is kind of odd that, okay, so allegedly he was murdered around midnight, 1 o'clock in the morning. So she was at the dumpster at 1 o'clock in the morning. So allegedly would have been, so if our timeline would be probably 12:30, and then at the dumpster at 1, back home, I'm guessing to sleep like nothing happened. I don't know. 4 hours later, call the babysitter, tell the babysitter she's not needed for Quentin, but the other two are needed. She's needed for the other two, and then he gets up and leaves for work. So from 6 until they call the police, what was she doing for those 3 hours? And what's really odd to me is, it's like, did it hit her? Did reality hit her? And she realized what she had done, and she knew she was like, is that how she was crying like she was? Or how the fuck was she just crying and frantic like that? I don't know. It's very, very odd to me that she sounded so up in the air, confused. I don't know.
Little odd that while Danny is making the phone call, she's just kind of in the background adding context, because that's also not something that you would normally do on a 911 call. Start saying, well, it could be this, well, it could be that. You're going to want to say, what should I do? Should I go search? What, like, everybody, come quick, my son is missing. You don't really get that. You hear more excuses.
Absolutely. All right, Lauren, Justice Scott Morgan staying with us. Coming up next, what will investigators be able to determine from Quentin's remains?
Additional tests.
And Chief Hadley, I felt so bad for him, man. You can just hear his voice shaking. You know what I'm saying? Shaky as hell. And man,
including a DNA analysis, is being conducted, and we have every reason to believe that this will confirm the remains are Quentin's.
How could live ammunition have made it onto that set? An A-list actor charged in a fatal shooting on a film set.
Several members of the crew were already upset with the safety conditions.
This was an unspeakable tragedy, but Alec Baldwin committed no crime.
Chatham County Police Department detectives arrested 22-year-old Leilani Simon and charged her with malice murder, concealing the death of another person, false reporting and making false statements in connection with the disappearance and death of her son, 20-month-old Quentin Simon. Leilani Simon is being held at the Chatham County Detention Center and is awaiting a bond hearing. We do not anticipate any other arrests in this case. She has been the sole suspect from the beginning. On Friday, our search teams at the waste management landfill found what they believed were human remains. This afternoon, the FBI lab in Quantico, Virginia confirmed that they are, in fact, human remains. Additional testing, including a DNA analysis, is being conducted, and we have every reason to believe that this will confirm the remains are Quentin's.
He was thrown out like garbage. This little boy that you're looking at was killed and thrown out like garbage. They had to go to a landfill to recover his remains. Unreal. Which brings me to my next question, which is about what happened to the little guy. What will investigators be able to determine from is Lauren?
Now, see, we watched some of this last night, and I don't know. They said blunt force object, I believe is what they said. But it almost makes me wonder if, like, he didn't fall or, like, in the tub, because Billy had said that on the phone and something happened, or he was already, gone when she got back in there, or did she pass out using drugs and something happened while he was in the tub, or did he, what I'm saying? Did she really hurt him? Did she do something? I mean, like I said, we'll find all this out during the trial, but it's just questions that I had from before, because, things do happen, but if she hurt him, that's different than an accident happened and her trying to cover it up because of the drug use. You see what I mean? Like, if she was high and she didn't want to tell him she was high and something happened, that's different than her physically hurting the baby. You see what I mean? Like, it's a lot different if she physically hurt the baby, then that's a whole different, a tool last night. See, I was wondering, I don't know. It makes you wonder, like, how could I guess, I don't know. I can't envision her hitting him with something because yeah, see, and I don't know if it was an accident or if it was, I don't know. I don't know if she did it or if she hurt him intentionally. I have no idea. Yeah, her charges implicate malice murder. And they said that he's got a whole, like, where they believe he was hit with something is what they were alluding to. Hold on, they taped up the windows with black plastic and said they had it say he wasn't alive anymore. Well, we knew he wasn't alive anymore, baby. We just don't know what happened. We just don't know what happened inside prior, that's because Leilani keeps lying, she's lying about it, or, not telling the full truth. Or, I don't think any of the three of them are. I think all three of them in that house that night, I think that all three of them knew. I just think there's more, in my opinion. I think all three of them knew what was going on, because you can hear on the phone call where he says, oh, the door was unlocked, but the locks he can't get through the locks, but the door was open. I don't know. Fucking weird to me. And I feel like he's not going to sleep through all that commotion. 2 other kids, a brand new baby, She's up moving around, leaving the house, coming and going. One of the babies, all this happened. And if she hit him, then he had to have made some sounds and was crying. There had to have been something. This didn't just happen and all super quiet and he didn't hear anything. The brother didn't hear anything. Nobody heard anything. Like, I just feel like this is fucking weird to me. I don't know. Hold on, Niecy. What'd you say, baby? You remember she had allegedly been to the dentist and was on strong pain? Yeah. I do remember. I do remember them saying that. But, she also had, I believe, fentanyl in her system, too. Or was it cocaine? I think it was cocaine, maybe. Well, choking could be silent, but they said he had a blunt force trauma to his head. So it's malice murder is a big fucking deal. Here, let's see. Okay, let's see here. I think malice murder is like with intent. What's the difference between malice murder and second-degree murder? Let's see here. And a felony murder. Malice murder in Georgia is defined as causing the death of another human being with malice, aforethought. Express malice is the deliberate intention to take a life unlawfully. Malice can also be implied based on the circumstances of the killing. The intent to kill, aforethought, can be formed in an instant and does not require proof of any sort of plan or motive. So, it means like she didn't premeditate it, she didn't plan it out. It's something that just happened right off, and it was she had, I guess, intent to kill. I guess that's what that means then. So, yeah, willingly. God, man.
The one thing about this search that I think people have to realize, and this was like a massive search that was an incredible effort by everyone involved.
Yes, Vinny, it was a huge search. Tons of money was put into this, over $250,000 by the county. The FBI was involved. They had local police, a K-9 team, helicopters. Everybody in the area was searching for Quentin Simon.
Joseph Scott Morgan, I want to read something from the state's filing just to give a little perspective on what happened to Quentin, and then you can help us answer the question about what investigators are going to be able to figure out from this part of the evidence. But hours after the defendant had discarded Quentin's body in the dumpster, the hydraulic forks of a front-loading garbage truck lifted up the dumpster and dumped its contents, including Quentin, into the large box that constitutes the back of the truck. Then a powerful compactor built into the truck compacted the contents of the box.
And maybe I can't help but think that has something to do with the charge. In my opinion, I think that is why they went for the malice murder charge. I'm not sure if they even talked about the death penalty. I'm not even sure if Georgia has the death penalty. I guess I'll have to look that up.
Eventually, the truck gorged its load at the trash basin of a local landfill. A bulldozer then shoved the heaped garbage 300 feet from the trash basin to a cell. Once at the cell, the garbage and Quentin were compacted by a roughly 50-ton machine that looks something like a steamroller, but with rollers that are studded rather than smooth. Then there was a search. The process consisted of excavators scooping garbage out of the cell and loading it into dump trucks. The dump trucks unloading the garbage at an open area known as a search deck. The garbage then being spread out into an even layer on the search deck. Law enforcement combing through the garbage, then clearing it to make room for the next load. This is repeated day after day, load after load, ton after ton. Quentin's body, is what they're saying here, went through a lot. What they did at Joseph Scott Morgan, they found whatever was left of these remains. What are they going to be able to determine from these remains?
Well, I got to tell you, Ben, tip of the cap, first off, to law enforcement and these people that were boots on the ground. You realize how unsuccessful most of these searches generally are. I know you realize that. We've covered it for years, and I've been a part of searches like this, and it is an absolute nightmare to work in this environment. And, you know, they talked about the truck or the piece of equipment that compounds everything that's contained in there. These landfills are split up into, they call it cells. You can call it grids as well, because you can't dump in the same area all the time. You have to keep it evenly spaced. And the upside is, you know, where that particular dumpster originated from that day. So it would be isolated in that specific topographic area for that site. One of the things you have working against you is nature. Remember, a landfill is there to break down all organic material. And I'm not being disrespectful here, but the human body is chief among these. And so decomposition is promoted. One interesting piece to this, Finn, is that they talk specifically about finding skeletal remains, which means that within weeks, his little precious body would have broken down very quickly, probably a lot quicker than, say, for instance, if this was a body that was placed out in the woods somewhere. You get it into this environment and it's greatly compromised. So if you're looking for, say, injuries to the tissue, like a bruise.
Yeah, and that's another thing too, is there's no there's not very much to go off of. You know what I mean? There's not a lot. There's not a lot that they had to. They did recover what they could, and I don't know how. Maybe they did go to counseling. I'm not sure. I don't know how they didn't. That's something I'm not sure that I would be able to do. Digging a baby out of a landfill, I just don't think that's something I could do. So my heart goes out to the people that did.
Or even a gunshot wound or a knife wound, you're not going to find it most of the time, because all of the soft tissue will be gone. So then you're reliant upon the skeletal remains, which they removed to Quantico. And that's kind of an interesting bit there. For me, it was, at least. They first went to Quantico, and then they came back to the state of Georgia to the state medical examiner's office. They quickly, early on, determined that these were a child's skeletal remains, which are completely different than an adult. They're not matured. And so they're very easily compromised. The bones are very soft. So that's why this is, I'm not trying to be grotesque. I'm just saying this is a miracle that they even found him. And so that's why this is such an achievement on the part of law enforcement. And they couldn't deserve more credit.
And as you get those remains and you examine them, what are you looking for? What can you get from the skeletal remains of this small young child?
Yeah, one of the key things is they're being very cagey about this. Did you notice in the report, it was very nonspecific relative to, well, the weapon or the instrument that was used. They talked about, and I'm going to get the phrase, maybe you can correct me here, but it was an instrument that was used, and it was nonspecific. Well, an instrument, or an object rather, can be any number.
Yeah, right there. So it says they believe that an instrument or object was used. And that hurts my heart. Well, she shouldn't have had custody of her youngest. I believe she had cocaine in her system when the baby was born. I'm pretty sure those documents were leaked. A lot of stuff was leaked. Hey, Ellie Boo, what's up?
Hey, what's up?
How are you, baby?
Good. So I
We were up
think
here
it's starting. Yeah.
We were kind of just going over this, or, we went over some of it last night, but just like the timeline and stuff, it just doesn't really make sense to me that the other two in the house didn't know all this was going down.
I know. I think we're going to find out more at the trial that I think he definitely had to take some kind of deal.
Well, allegedly he said he was sleeping the entire time.
sleeping.
Mhm.
But then he saw him at 6, I thought, before he left work.
Yeah, he said he got up for work. They seen him at 5:30 in the crib.
Mm-hmm.
How'd you see him at 5:30 in the crib if she murdered him at 1 o'clock or midnight and dumped him, had him in a trailer park dumpster at 1 a.m.? How the hell?
Unless she put something there to like pretend that he was.
Which I thought it was a bunch of blankets, but I mean, if she hit him with a blunt force object, you have to think there's going to be some kind of a cry out. There's going to be some kind of a scream or something. You know what I'm saying?
And they found like blood splatter, I'm pretty sure, right?
Yeah, they did all that. Well, yeah, because like the chat just said, they put those black window things up. Remember? They put the
Yeah, I remember that. When they were like processing the house. I remember that. But I don't remember that. So that 911 call that you played last night, that's like the first time. Has it been released kind of more recently? I don't remember.
I've never heard that call. Remember, I've never heard that.
Yeah.
It's kind of.
Was the chat remember it? Because I feel like, I don't know, because the whole thing, I don't remember him being on the call with her. Do you know what I mean? I just don't remember that. I feel like I would have remembered that, but maybe, it's been like 2 years, right? It's been 2 years? Wow.
Yeah.
2 years. Wow. Yeah, he is very little. It could have been one hit and he's gone. Yeah, buttered crumpet. Yeah, Little Minx doesn't recall it being released.
I don't remember hearing that whole call where he's like, "Oh, the door was unlocked," and then he's like, "Oh, but the bolts," but he can't reach the bolts, and then he goes, "Oh, the bolts were undone though," almost like he was covering or something. I don't know. It was very.
Because remember they like drink.
Oh, you just cut off, baby.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I just got a call.
They were drinking and partying or hanging out or whatever.
Well, they drained the pool, I think. Remember, or did they drain the pool? Yeah.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they drained them because who had a drone video of it? Somebody did. Maybe Dolly. There was a drone video. Maybe it was the news. There was a drone video of them back there draining the pool.
Oh, probably the news. I don't.
Yeah, because I don't think Dolly had one back then.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe he did. I just don't recall him having one back then. It was the news. Hold on. Days later, she says it's days later. Leilani said the back door was open. But baby, they said it on that 911 call. They said it.
Yeah, on the 911 call, they said it, right?
Yeah. So even like days later, she said days later, Leilani said the back door was open. But she said it on that 911 call too.
Do you see what Kodo just said? That she said she had a toothache and needed to get Orajel from a friend, his body, and took him to the car, went to the trailer park dumpster and put him in. What time was that? Like in the middle, 1 o'clock in the morning or something?
What was weird to me was how fast the boyfriend left out the house. Makes me wonder what he knows. Yeah, because his ass beat feet. As soon as that happened, he took the fuck off and Leilani went to rehab or whatever, and he went to his mom's. Remember? Or the cousins or whatever, because there was a picture of him sitting on her couch. Remember that? You remember a picture of Danny?
Yeah.
There was a picture of him sitting on that couch.
Yeah. I think he at that point he probably got questioned and he made some kind of deal and like he went to Atlanta, I remember.
Well, yeah, because he's been trying to get custody of his daughter since. Like he's been trying to get custody of her. Yeah, his parents picked him up.
Yep. Yeah, I think
where you at? Why ain't you up here talking shit with us?
Yeah,
He must be at work.
He must be at work.
Yep, he must be working.
Koda says she thinks 2 a.m. I think. I'm not 100% sure on that time. Yeah, I think it was around that time, like 1, 2 o'clock in the morning. Because remember they had her on like some kind of like footage near those dumpsters in that like trailer park.
Yeah, because there was a video of it. Remember where they did the video? Let me go pull this video up for you.
Yeah, I haven't seen that in a long time.
I think a lot of people forgot. So
yeah. I remember like, yeah. I mean, and then that started that rumor that she was like in this, it was her. I mean, because that was because of that video. I remember. Don't play whose music? Texas, whose music? Don't play his music though. Whose music? Yeah, I remember teething Medicaid, like the Oragel excuse that she had a
Yeah, she said
toothache.
she had yeah, because didn't she have her teeth worked on or something like that? She said she
Yeah.
said she had her teeth worked on or whatever, and she needed Oragel for him.
Yep.
That was why she left, supposedly.
Oh, Danny's a musician. Okay, got it.
Yeah, Danny Youngkin. Yeah, he's a musician, and then yeah, he strikes for his music.
Oh.
No, I'm serious. He really does.
Oh, I
And he
believe
had
it.
a video. Look here. Here's this is the baby daddy that was in the house with her. Let me pull him up for you real quick. So he has a couple songs on here. Let's see. Here, matter of fact, here, he's got a. Let me mute this real fast. Okay. So this is him right here. This is Danny. And I got it muted for his music, but this is him. So he was in the house with her when this happened, and you're telling me you didn't hear nothing, you know nothing, you didn't see or hear anything, and he was just in the crib when you left for work that morning.
Okay, I'm back. Oh, this is Danny. Got it.
Yeah, this is, yeah, I'm sorry. I thought you were on here. Yeah, this is Danny.
That's why we're playing without the music.
Yeah, this is, I mean, I don't know. It's, I don't know with okay, so and this is what this is something else with brain matter on his pillow. If that is true, and she did hit him, like directly, murder him with an object. Do you not think there would be any kind of sound from that
I
anybody in the
know.
house would hear, or if she, you know what I'm saying? Because I mean, and then that leads me to the next question: was it just like one? Did this happen like you hit him one time and bam? I mean, I don't understand.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It
Maybe I just
wasn't.
don't want. It's fucking
Wasn't the
sad, man.
brother there too in the house?
I don't want to think of her going in there and hitting him in the fucking head with something. I just don't want to think like that. You know what I mean?
I know. I think you like kind of remembered it like that you wanted to remember it as some kind of like drowning or something because we did
Well,
think
that's
that
what
at
she
one
said.
point.
That's what Billy said. That's not. I can't say that's what
Yeah.
happened. It's just what Billy Joe had
No, of course. But it's easier to
So
think of it like that. I don't know.
yeah.
But then like in the affidavit it does say that they're, that it was like some kind of blunt force trauma, right?
Well, I mean, yeah, and then the way Chief Hadley was, I mean, just when he, when he just, he was crying at the end of the press conference. You remember that when they pulled his body over? I mean, fuck, it would be, how hard would that be? I like I said, I
mean, it's amazing that they found.
I just don't want to
remember
think
that
of her hitting him with something. You know what I'm saying? Look how precious he is. I mean, fuck.
I know. He's such a cutie.
I don't know. I just don't think my mind wants to even believe
that she could actually hit his head with something, anything
yes,
that would.
like
I
hit
know.
it that hard with something that she would, kill him. Fuck, man.
It's hard to imagine it as a mom. I know. It's like too horrific. It's way too horrific.
I don't know,
But
man.
it's amazing that they found. Remember all that search day after day after day in that.
Yes, I
in
didn't
the,
even think they were going to find him there after a while because, I mean, they were in
right?
there for a month and nothing. They still hadn't found anything. And I'm like, gosh, man, you know, he's so little. And they did. Shit, by
They
the grace of
found.
God, they did.
Like I wonder if they would have been able to charge her if they didn't. You know, if they didn't find those because it was only like
Well,
a certain.
that's what we were all wondering. If they wouldn't have found him, would she have been charged?
Yeah, because it was able to, like, they were able to kind of get a more of a picture of what happened to him from his remains that were found.
And
I mean,
look,
it's just
fly on the BJ's fly strip or whatever says a 20-month-old still has a soft spot on his head, so it wouldn't take that hard of a hit, to be honest. And plus, there were 3 adults and 1 child in the house with Maddie Soto, and no one heard anything either. Well, I think
she had to know something.
Yeah, I was
or
gonna say. I think I think the mom knew what was going on. I think the mom knew something was going on.
She
She just ain't saying
even
that, and I don't think she'll ever admit to that. And that's just my opinion. I don't know. Maybe not. But
she kind of knew because she did say she was worried that it was a Woody Allen situation. So she had to
right.
know to a certain degree what could have been happening.
I
If
mean,
not,
you can't sit here and play like you didn't know this entire time that something was going on with your baby. You know what I'm saying? With she was the baby, but you know what I meant. You know, like with your daughter. You know.
And who knows? Like Danny might have told them a lot. We don't know what he told them. Truthfully, like it will come out in this
Right, he
trial.
might
I'm
have told
sure.
everything. I mean, he might, and then maybe that's why he's not sitting in there. Maybe he did, you know. But allegedly, he said that he was asleep the whole time, you know. So I don't know. Like I said, we'll hear because he's testifying. So
yep,
we'll
yeah.
hear his side. I mean, starts tomorrow, but I mean, I guess I don't know. Some of the questions they asked the jury was like, "Do you know?" Here, you want to read over them?
Yeah, there was. Yeah, I know. I was reading
the
this
questions
morning.
they asked the jury.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what we were saying too. Voices.
What?
He could have cut a deal too.
Oh, I think he definitely cut a deal. We thought that back then because the way that he just like was freaking gone, like just gone. Nobody talked about him, and then everybody was still in the house. Remember when Leilani? She was still around, but he was just nobody talked about him. He was just gone in Atlanta, and like we thought back then that he had to like have done some kind of deal. And now that he's testifying, it shows that that's exactly what happened. Because even if he might have like been a witness to it after it happened or something, you know what I mean? And said he was, I don't know, said he was sleeping. Yeah, Marcy, Jen had to know something was going on. It's just freaky to me, that whole thing. Yeah, you can read the questions. Just Sam, they're like I think Queen Bee's going to get them the voir dire. They're like 4 pages of the questions that they're asking today. It'll probably be very quick of them, I bet, to get a jury for this. It's not going to be a difficult jury to seat, I don't think. I wonder if there's anything about YouTube on here in the questions. Oh, wow. Does anyone here believe in what you sometimes hear described as conspiracy theories, such as the moon landing was faked or that the earth is flat or anything along those lines? Like that you saw Quentin's ghost, Dolly and Olivia? That's an interesting question. Oh, this is another one. Does anyone here ever listen to true crime podcasts or watch, read, or listen to true crime content on YouTube or any other online platform or social media platform? So we would all be like dismissed probably from this case. Oh, another one. Does anyone here ever watch what are sometimes called true crime shows or movies
Those are
on
the questions that
television?
they were asking. Is that what you're reading, baby?
Yeah, I'm just reading the best ones that I could find because these are like interesting kind of,
They said, do you
compared
have
like,
social media?
yeah, like there's
Wow.
28, 29, and 30 are all like social media related. Oh, wow. Does anyone have any unusual psychic abilities, such as remote viewing, which is the ability to see things happen in a place where you are not physically present, or telekinesis, which is the ability to cause an object to move with one's mind only without touching the object? So these are the things that you got to tell if you don't want to be on a jury, that you believe in telekinesis, that you have psychic abilities, and you're remote viewing things. Oh my gosh. Interesting. It's a lot of like child abuse kind of questions. Do you have them up?
Yep.
No. Wow, Peggy. Hurricane Milton expect to double in size? I thought it was like, Voices is in the back. I thought it was downgraded to a 4. No? Dang. That's what I missed. I was on the phone. Okay, she's confused. No, we're still talking about pineapple.
Hey, how's my
Hey,
mic?
Voices, how are you?
Good. How's my mic today?
Good.
It's a little bit, it's a little bit loud. I like, you know what I mean? But it's okay. I mean, it's not like it's,
You didn't go crazy? Okay.
Let's see here. We have, okay, so this is a little bit small though. So it's going to be, I don't know how to zoom in and make it bigger.
Hit the control and the plus at the same time.
Let's see. We'll see if we can do this. Let me pop this up just in case I fuck it up. Okay, what is it now? Let me see. Let me go to this.
Control and plus.
Okay. It's not really moving yet.
Keep doing it. Or maybe it's the control and the up arrow.
There we go. We got it.
Okay.
It's a little blurry, but hey, we got it.
Okay, I could read it. I have them on my phone, so you could put them up and I could read them from my phone.
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, read them. Okay, start. This is the first page.
Okay, number 1. Is there anyone here whose primary residence is not in Chatham County? So that's like just technical stuff. Is there anyone here whose first language is not English? That's number 2. Number 3, does anyone know the defendant?
Okay, hold on one second. This is what I want you guys to do real quick, okay? So we're going to pretend that if you were seated for the jury, how many of these questions, like I want you to answer them as you go along and see, you know what I mean? To see if they pick you as a juror. Okay, go ahead.
Okay. Does anyone know the defendant, Leilani Simon? Number 4, does anyone know any member of her family? Okay, so we're all like, a lot of us are like gone from not knowing BJ, or not knowing BJ, but you'd be disqualified, Queen.
Yeah, I was gonna say that I'd be disqualified for the, you know what I mean, for a lot of these.
Yep.
I'd be disqualified.
Okay, they're saying, can you start over? Will you start over from the beginning?
Okay, number 1. Is there anyone here whose primary residence is not in Chatham County? Okay, number 2, is there anyone here whose first language is not English? Number 3, does anyone know the defendant, Leilani Simon? Number 4, does anyone know any member of her family? Number 5, does anyone know either member of the defense team? Number 6, does anyone know Judge Stokes or any employee of the Chatham County court system? So Bullhorn is out.
That's a little bit. Okay, well.
Number 7, does anyone know either member of the prosecution team? Number 8, does anyone know anyone who works or has worked at the district attorney's office? Number 9, does anyone know any of the following potential witnesses for the state? Read witness list. We don't have that. So put NA for number 10. Has anyone ever served on a jury before? Number 11, of those who answered yes, was any jury unable to reach a verdict? Okay, next page. Number 12. Has anyone ever had any criminal justice education or training, legal education or training, or worked in the criminal justice field or legal field in any role? Have you or has anyone close to you ever had a negative experience with the police that affected your view of police generally? A lot of people
Yes.
that one. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, I was gonna say I think that's a yes from a lot of people, but I mean I don't know. There's so much. I mean, so many of these that wouldn't work. I wouldn't be able to be a juror. That's for sure. I'm out.
Just because you say yes doesn't automatically disqualify
Yeah.
you. You say no.
No,
So,
no,
like,
I said yes to a lot of these, so it's
well, that like the English. Well, and sometimes you want that person on a jury. You want somebody that's going to be able to.
Well, have you talked to Leilani Simon? Have you?
Oh.
Do you know the mother? Do you
That's
know their
different.
family? Are you on social media? Have you followed this case? Have you been involved in this case? Those are all questions I would have to answer to that. No, I couldn't be on here, you know?
Yeah.
I wouldn't be eligible either because I wouldn't be able to be fair to Leilani. I just know way too much.
Right. And so that's why it's good to have these questions, and it's good to be able, you know, like you said, some of them, just because you say yes doesn't mean you're automatically disqualified, but they do take these into consideration, you know, and they ask all the jurors to fill these out. But go ahead.
Okay. Okay. 13, there has like a few parts like from it. 14, would anyone here say that they have a negative opinion of the police? That's kind of like, you know, going off of 13, which is, you know, and then 15 is, what about the Chatham County Police Department specifically? And number 16 is, what about the FBI? So do you like, they want to know if you have like a negative, you know, opinion of the FBI, which is 16. 17, have you or anyone close to you ever had a negative experience with the district attorney's office? Number 18, would anyone here say they have any sort of negative opinion of the district attorney's office? Number 19, what about prosecutors generally? That's interesting. Just prosecutors in general. 20, to be fair on both sides, what about criminal defense attorneys? Like, what's your opinion about them? Would anyone here say, number 21, would anyone here say they have any negative opinions concerning the criminal justice system? I mean, that's a, they just want to hear like what people's like reactions are to these questions. It's not either like a yes or no, like, but like how they answer them is what, right? Voices, like what you're looking for is like the answer sometimes, not the yes or no.
It's not the yes or no. It's the answer. It's the, you know, like, okay, so if you answered no to, is English your first language, and you say no, they would need to bring in a translator. So then that's going to be associated cost.
Yeah.
So it doesn't automatically preclude you from it.
Yeah. Okay, number 22, this case involves allegations of child abuse. Have you or has anyone close to you ever been a victim of child abuse? Number 23, have you or anyone close to you ever been accused of any form of child abuse?
And that could skew like if you know somebody who's been abused, that could skew Leilani's ability to get a fair trial, because somebody could say, well, you're a child abuser, you're automatically guilty.
Yep.
So that's really kind of an important question, in my opinion.
Yeah. And then the next one too is, have you or anyone close to you ever dealt with substance abuse issues? Oh wait, I missed one. Have you or anyone close to you ever been involved in reporting or investigating any instance of child abuse or suspected child abuse? So like, if you're like a social worker, that would fall in there, you know? Like if you work for CPS, you'd probably get, you know, they always say like, if you say you're a social worker, if you say that like your uncle like works for the IRS, like I heard that's a way to get out of like certain kind of like civil, you know, if you want to like get out of like any kind of jury duty, if you want to get out of
be honest and tell them you have mental illness, and they'll probably
spook you. See ya. No.
Yeah, you don't want somebody with a personality disorder serving on your jury, because if they wake up and they're having a bad day that day, your fate is in the hands of somebody that can't always control their own emotions in that.
Yeah. Yeah, number 24, have you or anyone close to you ever been, oh no, number 25, I mean, have you or anyone close to you ever dealt with substance abuse issues? And 26, has anyone ever worked in a mental health provider of any sort? So that's like social worker, like caseworker, CPS workers, you know, they don't like usually like that in a, you know, to have a social worker because you. All right, number 27. This case involves a young child, Quentin Simon, who was reported missing in October of 22 and whose remains were later found in a landfill after a joint investigation by the Chatham County Police Department and the FBI. It has been the subject of some media coverage. Has anyone here seen, heard, or read any of the media coverage either on television, on the radio, in the newspaper, or on the internet? Okay, we're all excused.
Next group of jurors, please, Your Honor.
Yeah, everybody leave. And then 28, does anyone here ever watch what are sometimes called true crime shows or movies on television or any streaming service such as Netflix or Amazon? Guilty. Does anyone here, number 29, does anyone here ever listen to true crime podcast or watch, read, or listen to true crime content on YouTube or any other online platform or social media platform? Okay. Everybody else leave the chat. Everybody else, you're all disqualified.
Next round of jurors, please. Your Honor.
And this one, does anyone here have any personal objection, religious, moral, or otherwise, to the idea of sitting on a jury, hearing the evidence, and voting on whether the defendant is guilty or not guilty of the crimes with which she is charged? It's 31. Does anyone here believe in what you sometimes hear described as conspiracy theories, such as the moon landing was faked or that the earth is flat or anything along those lines? Number 32, does anyone here have any unusual psychic abilities, such as remote viewing, with the ability to see things happen in a place where you are not physically present, or telekinesis, which is the ability to cause an object to move with one's mind only without actually touching it? Do you have that?
All right. Hold on. How many fucking jurors do we got in the chat?
We got 9. We got 0.
How many do we got left?
Jury pool, Your Honor.
I think we're gonna have to add more people. Petty AF, how are you, baby?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good.
Hang on now. Sorry. Done. I'm good. How are you?
Good. How are you?
Good. I'm just wondering about these questions. They are crazy. I've got to apologise to Ellie because I thought it was honestly her who was asking if anybody believed in conspiracy theories earlier.
Oh, yeah, no, I
did
I
too.
read that
I
one
was
off the
confused when
bat.
she said that. I was like, are you asking the chat that? I didn't know. A jury question.
That's an interesting jury question, you know?
It was strange for this case, but
For this
there's
case, yeah.
nothing normal about this case. In my opinion.
It says that, like, do you follow true crime podcast? Or I was like, oh fuck, we're all out. Anybody that's on here right now in the chat, you guys are all out.
You're all out. Just by listening to the last 20 minutes.
Yeah, it was just a conspiracy in the ghost question. I don't know why they've asked it, but it's just like, what? Really?
With the dolly, because remember Dolly had it was his light going the opposite way. I can't believe he thinks that it was a ghost. It was clearly the light traveling, because it was traveling the same. It was just a shadow. Oh my god, that was funny.
Sorry to interrupt. I'll mute now.
Oh no, the last 2 are just very kind of like housekeeping ones. The last 2 are, does anyone have any significant serious scheduling conflicts or obligations that would affect your ability to sit as a juror over potentially the next couple of weeks? So it's going to be a few weeks. So we get that. And then the last one, does anyone have any medical issues that might affect your ability to stay awake and remain attentive for prolonged periods of time, or to remember and discuss during deliberations the evidence you heard during the trial? That's it.
I think just playing devil's advocate for myself, I'm just going to say that it is possible that Danny didn't know or hear anything, and he did think it was Quentin in the crib, and just that he
He
was
very
just
well could have. I mean, honestly, he very well could have. He was working. They did say he was working, and
Yeah.
the kids were supposed to have been staying at the babysitters that night. So, I mean, even if he was using, and then the question rises was, okay, so if they were drug addicts or drug users, maybe he did use and pass out. He wouldn't have heard anything if he was out. You know, like, I mean, if he was on,
yeah.
I mean, with cocaine, of course, that keeps you up and awake and moving around. But if he was on something other than that, i.e., pain pills, fentanyl, you know, like downers,
Yeah.
Xanax, anything like that, what if he did pass out and didn't see or hear anything? I mean, that's very well could be
It
true.
happens. You know, he could have been in a different room, like had to work early in the morning, maybe wasn't in the, you know, like we
Well,
don't know
and
their
then
sleeping
that lady
arrangements.
said their bedroom was on the bottom and the regular, like the normal house part was on the top.
Uh-huh.
Babies
Oh.
cry and throw fits all the time that dads are able to tune out.
Yes. I agree
Yeah,
with
but
that,
that
Mark.
kind of a scream to get hit like that in the head and that kind of a scream, there's a difference between a cry and a hurtful scream. You know what I mean?
What if Danny had headphones on playing a video game or working on
Or
his...
what if he didn't scream? What if there was no sound?
Exactly. What if he passed out straight away?
It's
That's
one and
another
done.
thing, right? That what if there's so many questions, man.
There's so many options. Yeah. I guess he's going to testify. So we'll know, I
Yeah.
guess. Yeah.
We'll know because he's gonna testify. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and imagine being BJ being put through all of this all over again, and now, I mean, this is, I feel for her. I talked
Some
to
people
her.
sleep through everything.
Yeah.
Sorry.
She was in Kathy P's yesterday, and I know she was having just an awful day yesterday.
BJ. Oh, it's
BJ,
the anxiety. Yeah. But
I saw on a different stream as well that they was really slating BJ, saying that she should be locked up. She's just as bad as her mum. And I'm like, oh my God, are you serious? Really? She's nowhere near like her mum. She wasn't even in the house.
Yeah,
Her
and just because
daughter, sorry.
people say that just because I think she like kind of had custody and Leilani wasn't supposed to be alone with them. That's the only reason why people blame her at all. But she
Yeah.
was working, like I mean, and she
Well,
was.
and again, she had paid the babysitter to keep
Yeah.
her. The babysitter had other things to take care of, and I don't think she realized, like, you know what I'm saying? I think she went to do her church thing and then took the kids to McDonald's or something and went back home. And people ridiculed her for that, but I mean, I think that's why Billy Joe was so upset when she came back and went off like she did.
Yeah.
Because they had talked and she had made plans for her to have the kids, not Leilani.
I don't fault
she, from my understanding, and when we talked, a year and a half ago, she was blaming herself anyways. There wasn't anything anybody could say that she hadn't said to herself. You know what I mean? She was.
She actually just brought that up in an email the other day about that night that we
Give me 2 seconds.
shut down and talked with her to help get her okay again.
Yeah, it has to be hard for her and her son. I bet it's really tough. I don't think she's gonna go. Right? That's what you were saying. She's not.
I don't know. She said she was, and then she said she wasn't. I don't know. I mean,
She had to testify yesterday. So, I mean, she was on the stand yesterday. We saw that clip from Court TV. She was on the stand.
Well, that might have been at like when she was on the stand?
I don't necessarily think it was like the stand for the trial. I think it was just they were asking her questions like regarding Leilani, I believe. Like who all lived in the house with you? Hey, just Samantha, how are you, baby?
Hey guys, hey everyone. I just wanted to say, because BJ is a friend of the channel and she comes here and she shares things, and I was in the chat probably that Petty is talking. Wait, can you guys hear me? Am I okay? Sorry,
Yeah,
should
we
I
can
ask
hear you,
that?
baby. Yeah.
So when BJ, I was in that chat, and there is people who were part of the hecklers and outside, and they're spreading the rumors that like, oh, BJ was so messed up on drugs, along with her, she should be in prison. Well, I know on your panel, BJ said how proud she was that she was able to survive her sobriety throughout this ordeal. She was also getting paid and had a job as a welder, which is like a very high paying job, a very dangerous job. I'm sure she was getting drug tests regularly. And if she was dealing with CPS, they also drug test you. So I was really offended for anybody to be like, oh, she was so fucked up. She was so high. Were you there? Did you do drugs with her? Because how else are you going to tell me for a fact that she was on drugs? If she said she's sober and she went through all this, I pray she continues to stay sober. I don't think it's fair that people need to be saying that type of shit. So that was just my little rant.
Agree.
Yeah, she has, I believe, 20 years of sobriety.
I thought she said 17 on your panel.
Yeah,
I could be mistaken.
It's been almost 2 years, so she'd be real close to 20 now.
Coming up on 20, yeah.
Yeah, so they were like adamant, that she was on drugs. You don't know unless you're doing the drugs with them. So that really, really pissed me off because
somebody had made a comment about her jaw, and she had responded and said she had TMJ. That was another screenshot that I was looking at.
I can go for that because I've got TMJ as well, and my jaw moves all the time.
Yeah, and that's what she was having. They said her jaw. That's another reason why they said she was using drugs, because her jaw was.
The moment somebody with TMJ gets stressed, the first thing that happens is that jaw locks down, and you will consistently be wiggling it and moving it because it causes a lot of pain and pressure in that area. Because that's stupid to say that about her.
Yeah, especially if she works so hard. Recovery is not easy. Every day, every minute, every hour, you can relapse. So hats off to her. I just didn't think that was fair.
No, I think, was it the same chat I was on about?
Probably.
Yeah.
So the whole chat was calling for her to be in prison.
Yeah. Because I think I ended up leaving it. It was too much for me. There's no way anybody should think of Billy like that. No way. I mean, if they'd listened to Queen's stream when BJ was on the panel and she said, I wanted to drive myself and my daughter off, that tells me all I need to know.
Yeah, and we are here to speculate, give our theories, have an adult discussion, but also be as respectful as we can, and nobody knows that's her daughter, that's her grandson. None of us know exactly what we would do or how we would handle that in that situation. And unfortunately, she went through it. We didn't, we can think we might do this and we might do that, but we're not certain.
I can tell you I wouldn't be as dignified as Billy's been. Not at all. I really don't think I would be.
That's all I wanted to say. So I'm gonna go back to chat. But thank you guys, and thank you for all those birthday wishes yesterday. Hive, so special. Thank you.
Your birthday. Happy birthday, just Samantha.
Yeah, it was yesterday.
That's okay. Today's your first day into the new year, so it's still happy birthday.
Thank you. Hive treated me well, family over here. Aww. So I'll skedaddle like B10 back to chat and be listening. Thank you, Queen. Really,
Thank you, Samantha, love. She's such a sweetheart. Yeah, her birthday was yesterday. I was like, go ahead, girl. She's like, I had a good birthday with you guys. Hold on. Nobody has said those things here, and I think you're forcing people to say their opinion by stating yours. Who are you talking to, Indy? Somebody in the chat or somebody up here?
Who booted you, Aries?
I'm not sure. I don't know. I guess I missed something in the chat. I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, Pineapple said something too. You see what she?
Yeah, she said, wow, some of y'all just love to go ham in here. Can you not? That's all we ask. Please be respectful as adults. I think we can all manage that. I mean, I think
What's going on down
there's
there?
there's people that are not, there's people that are not going to like BJ. There's people who are going to think she's responsible. There's people, I mean, we don't all think the same way. We don't all feel the same way. That's the good part about an open panel. I mean, there's people who think that should be sitting in jail right along with Leilani. But there's also there's a lot of things that people don't know and aren't privy to, and there's things I don't know that I'm not privy to either. That hopefully someday will be able to be talked about, or you know what I'm saying, explained. And
Yeah, we've got no right to know stuff, really. Not really.
right, there's a lot of stuff that we don't have any right even knowing about. So
Yeah. Just Samantha, we know you weren't talking about the phone. Sorry.
I respect your opinions. If that's how you feel, then that's how you feel. I mean, this trial is going to be rough. People's opinions might change. There might, you know what I'm saying? There's a lot, just shit. Fuck. I mean, just with that 911 call, I'm like, wait a minute. Fuck. I'm still thinking about that call from last night. Well, we just played it again today.
Yeah,
But,
same.
but I was like, this is like, I don't recall ever hearing this whole thing. And there's a lot of information in this little call here.
Have you guys unpacked that? Because we listened to it last night, and man, that hit me somewhere because I immediately developed some type of a feeling. Did you guys catch in there? She screams, "He's dead. He is dead."
No,
She's a
I
good
only caught the
actress.
song and that said that.
Yeah, dude, we should listen to it a couple of times. We seriously
No, I
should.
think Samantha was speaking about another chat.
Yeah.
But yeah, this here, I'll put this back on real quick. It's just
Right, I'm going
there
to
was
jump
so
down
much
because
in
I
that
really
little
can't
call.
listen to it again. I'm going
Yes,
to jump
it just
down. I'll be back in a bit.
okay.
Okay, bye.
Bye.
All right, so here's where it starts.
Law enforcement is then intervening in whatever is happening. And Daniel, who have the phone and are making the call in the morning. It's about 9:40. Take a listen.
What was your emergency? Yeah. Oh, do we come from kidnapped? They kidnapped?
Okay,
I
so
woke up.
First
Yeah.
they said he thought he was kidnapped, Queen. They
Where
originally
did they say that here or in this call or when?
Yeah, didn't like
Yeah, at
they're
the
putting
beginning.
words on the screen. Danny said, "We think he's been kidnapped," and then Leilani says,
Oh, right there. Yes, I need. And then it says redacted. We believe someone's been kidnapped. So that is the first fucking thing he says.
And then Leilani goes into her hysterics, but then listen, because it's like she's lying. Well, we know that she was lying in the 911 call, but she's lying, and it's all an act because she sounds all, but she's not actually crying. That is all an act because then she snaps.
Well, the thing of it is, listen, and okay, like I said, this timeline just doesn't, because so he gets up and at 5 o'clock and leaves or gets ready for work at 5:30. Claims he sees the baby in his playpen at 5:30 a.m. He leaves and goes to work. They call the sitter and say they don't need her at 5:30 in the morning. That's when he allegedly seen him. So he leaves for work at 6.
Yep.
The call comes in at 9:40. So from 6 a.m. to 9:40, what in the fuck were you doing?
We don't know what Leilani was doing, but didn't Danny go to work and then
Danny went to work?
Yes, and then she called him and told him to come home because she could not find Quentin. He got home and they called the babysitter. He said, he asked the babysitter, did Quentin walk over there? Because you know what I'm saying? He knows they know their way. They walk over there a lot.
There was something about she originally thought maybe Danny went ahead and took him because she fell back asleep.
Yeah, that's what she claimed. Oh, Leilani. But yeah, so he said, was Quentin over there? And she said no, and I guess the babysitter said no and told them to call the police. That's when they made this call.
Damn, there's a lot of information here. Yeah, this is a great place to start. Who's doing the timeline?
I don't know. I don't know if anybody did one.
I
We
think
just
there's
been going.
already ones that exist from back then,
You
I
know
guess,
what?
right?
From Sleuthy, huh? I think there might be
I
one
don't
from
know.
her.
I don't think Sleuth. I feel like I don't know. Did Kodo do like a video?
You know what? She probably did. I'll have to go look. And then she goes, "Yeah, you said somebody's been kidnapped."
Okay, so then you also have to listen to what Leilani's saying in the background also, because now there's two different stories going on. It's like Leilani's also on the phone with BJ, in my opinion.
Yeah, like, you know what I'm saying? This whole 911 call obviously is like,
and it's almost, I think you can kind of hear BJ in the background saying, what is going on? You gotta, like, I had my earbuds in when I went back and rewound it and listened to it. This is awful. In the moment, we all kind of bought it, but now I understand why BJ kept saying my daughter's lying. I know my daughter's lying. But
yeah.
A mom knows their daughter. Mom knows, and a mom knows when their daughter's lying.
Yes, don't fuck with Unicorn says if Leilani was seen at the dumpster at 1 a.m., how could he see Quentin in the pack and play at 5:30? The only explanation for that would be to see a pile of blankets and pillows laying in there and assuming he's in there, you know, just to assume he's in there on his way to work. No, she meant on the phone with BJ because BJ wasn't there. I think she meant on the Leilani was on the phone, right? Is that what you're talking about?
A phone call with her mom.
She said, "What's sad is the 2-year-old anniversary was just on the 5th and now the trial." Yeah, Granny, it's... No, BJ wasn't home. She was in Illinois, 14 hours away when she got the call.
Yeah, she was working and she came back. Right?
Yeah. Right there. Is that what you're saying?
Well, there, I think she yelled dad. Didn't she just say yell dad?
Yeah, that's what it sounds like, dad.
You have 1-year-old son?
Yes.
When was the last time you seen him? I saw him this morning when I left at 6. Okay, have you guys gone outside to check the area? Yes. How old is he? And he can't open the door. So you think someone broke it and they tried to break it in? No. No breaking in, the door was open. Was it unlocked? Yeah, but the front door had bolts though, but yeah, but...
So it's almost like she's on the phone talking to somebody else, and then he's talking to dispatch.
Yes, like she's saying, I can't find him nowhere. Like they're telling, like she's telling, answering also.
Right.
Answering somebody else's questions, in my opinion.
He said right there, he cannot open the door. So
originally, they did go with a break-in that somebody took him.
He says, "Okay, dang, you okay, Duke?"
Okay, have you guys gone outside to check the area? Yes. How old is he? And he can't open the door.
Yeah, he can't open the door. See, he's too little. He's not strong enough to open the door. And then he says,
he would have left. I feel like he would have left that out if he was kind of like knew what happened and was working with her. He would have left out like, oh, he can't even open the door. Do you know what I mean? Because
right.
Then, right? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't think. I don't think he was.
He might have known. But,
yeah, as I said, I don't think he's
or
like
not.
I don't know. The call seems really, really like odd at the way he says, the way he says the things he says. You know.
So you think someone broke it and they tried to break it in? No. No breaking in, the door was open. Was it unlocked?
Yeah, but the front door had bolts though. Like, yeah, like. No, I can't find him nowhere else. Everywhere. He's so scared. He's out there everywhere. Okay. Give me a description on him. Give me a description. He's blue eyes, like. He's got blue green eyes, fancy and dark hair. He's what now? You got the tan skin, dark brown hair. His eyes are like a brown green eagle. Okay. And he's black, white, Hispanic. He's what now? Hawaiian? Yes.
It's you.
So maybe he's confused by the way she's responding. Well, yeah, I mean, when he comes home and she's frantic as hell, I mean, imagine, so let's say he doesn't know. Let's just say on the flip side, he doesn't know what happened, and then she calls and she's frantic. I can't find Quentin. I can't find Quentin. He rushes home, calls the babysitter. Babysitter has she doesn't know where he's at. I'm sure, you know.
Because he kind of like shortened the window because he said I last saw him at like 6 when I left or something, right? So then, and then right after they kind of called the babysitter and like canceled her. So right, or before?
Yeah, they called the babysitter at 5:30 and canceled her. Made the 911 call at 9:40. So that was 4-hour difference. That's a 4-hour fucking difference from when they called and said they didn't need her. But then again, you know, they said she was at the dumpsters at 1 a.m. So that would say 1 a.m. she's at the dumpsters. 5:30, so 4.5 hours later, she calls and says, hey, we don't need you today for Quentin, but then takes the other two over there. The little baby and Zane, which is the oldest. So you take two of them over there, and then the middle one, all of a sudden, you just don't need a sitter for him, you know?
Yeah.
Danny goes to work, and then 3.5 hours later, she calls him and says she can't find Quentin. He calls the neighbor. Neighbor says she can't find him. She's like, call the police and report it. They call the police together, and we just heard the call.
Yeah, it's true. Like somebody said, like Leilani, Danny seems very confused in it.
Yeah, he kind of does.
Yeah, like where Leilani is.
She's like, the back door was open. He's like, but he can't open the back door.
Yeah.
Like she's like, well, it was hanging wide open. And he's like, well, there's bolts in the door. He can't open the bolts. Like,
yeah, like he's like kind of contradicting some of the things that she's trying, you know?
Yeah, so it seemed
like, oh, he just laughed.
But he initially says kidnapped, like Voices was saying. He initially says kidnapped. We think he's been kidnapped. We think somebody's been kidnapped.
I mean, I guess that's the only thing you can think if he's gone.
That was originally how it went out, was that they thought somebody had gone in the house, and that's when they learned that the cameras didn't work or had been disabled or something of that nature. I don't remember. And that also says to me that Leilani, knowing that she could be deceitful and knowing what BJ has talked to us about and what we have, which things that she has exhibited and we have witnessed, she would, in my opinion, she could be deceptive enough to make it look like there was a child sleeping, and a parent with a brand new baby that has to go to work at 6. If mom was just up at 4 feeding, you would try to sneak out the door and be really quiet, you know, taking your clothes into like a bathroom and getting dressed. So as you walk by a pack and play and you see a pile of blankets, you think, okay, well, cool, the kid's asleep.
Very true.
So
but how did he miss her leaving in the middle of the night and murdering him and leaving?
Well,
to go dump his body in the dumpster. That seems odd to me.
I got a theory on that too. What if he had either already gone to bed, given that he has to go to work at 6 a.m., or number 2, what if he were working on his music or whatever, and again she's like, hey, I'm gonna go run and grab some Orajel, and then at that time now she's got to go dispose of the baby's body, so the Orajel is the excuse to go dispose of it. So, I mean, he could easily have totally been not. She does seem to be the type that's very fucking deceptive. I keep going back to her mom saying she's lying. I know she's lying, my daughter is lying. That, like, you know when your kid's lying to you.
Yeah.
You just do. Again, those are my theories and my opinions, but I can easily see it being something where he really, and whatever he did know, after hearing that 911 call is, I don't believe is a lot. And also maybe he was just checked the fuck out. He just had a daughter born, and that's 3 kids, and that's a lot. I know men that are even older than what Danny is, and they check the fuck out the first chance they get. Like, they get left unattended for 20 minutes. You know, wife goes to do something and they're left without some sort of a express written project, and they get lost in their phone, and she might not get them back for 3 days. You know what I mean? Like, they can totally check right out of the marriage. So, or the relationship. So I can easily see it being that, you know, he was doing everything in his power just to even keep the peace. She does also, if there were substances being abused, how do you know that she didn't, you know, say, hey, I'm going to go pick up something? And, you know, we don't yet, but I'm going to be really interested to sit back and watch it. Ooh, niece, that's a great question. Like, to know what people Danny works with. I hadn't thought about his state of mind. Great question.
Man. Mm-mm-mm. When you're on your way to work, you probably just glance at the crib on the way past. Yeah, I'm sure he probably did. I mean, I'm sure he probably did. It was probably like, you know, like he didn't want to wake him up or bother him or whatever, you know, be loud. So that could be a possibility. But I mean, like I said, it just seems like it's kind of odd to me that, you know, he didn't hear anything. The brother didn't hear anything.
How about this one? Danny maybe was showering before work, right? Could have been showering before work, and Leilani said, you know, she grabbed his phone, used his phone to text the babysitter, and then told him as he getting out of the shower, hey, don't worry about Quentin, I'll take the other kids over in a little while. We're going to sleep in. You know, I mean, oh, be Tim's headed home. Should be home in an hour.
Hi guys. I don't want to. Can you guys hear me? Okay.
Hey.
Hi.
Yeah.
Hey. I don't.
How are you, baby?
I think once we sit down, I think we are forgetting little parts. Like, they didn't take any of the kids over there that day. As far as I know, when after the phone call was made, her daughters went over there and took the baby and the older boy. But and with like the babysitter, and I'm just
I
saying
thought
this.
they took him over there that morning, but Quentin didn't take him. Said they didn't need
No,
her.
they called the babysitter off 100%
For
as
all
far
3
as
of them.
I remember, for all 3 of them. Yes, for all 3 of the kids.
See,
And
these are like little details that, yeah, you're
Yeah,
right. Like I said,
yeah.
I thought they took him over there that morning and just didn't take Quentin. So
No, they didn't take any of them. And then whenever after that, you know, one of the babysitter's daughters, I think, when they went over there, and
down
Leilani was on the front porch smoking, and then they took them then. And I think, and I wanted to say this too about Billy Joe and the babysitter really quick, just so people that wasn't following, the babysitter wasn't supposed to have those kids while Billy Joe was gone, 24 hours a day. The deal was Leilani was never alone with them. So they did go pick those kids up every night. You know, I mean, the babysitter wasn't responsible for them. And I think what happened
she
was
said that she was paid to have him. I mean,
right, but not 24 hours a day. If you go back and listen, Billy Joe even says the whole point was that she wasn't ever alone, right? Either the boyfriend was there or her other son was there. And
So
that's why they were
the
going back
son
and
was
forth.
there, Paul,
And
or
right,
whatever.
and that's why I think Billy Joe was pissed, because I think the boyfriend, I think whatever happened. Leilani, you know, he went to go say, hey, I'm going to work. She said, hey, I was up last night. The kids didn't feel good. Go ahead and text the babysitter and tell them the kids weren't coming. And I think that was a no-no, right? I think that right there, you know, like he should have been like, well, you know, you're not supposed to be alone with them. That's just my personal opinion. He left, maybe looked in the crib, didn't. And I mean, because I know, like me, I'm going to check on my babies, right? I'm going to feel, I'm going to watch them breathe. But like my husband, he just going to be like, yep, they're there. You know, I mean, he ain't going to touch them or, you know, it's just a difference, you know.
Question. Somebody just messaged me. Question for the panel. Damn it, it just popped away. Hang on one second. It's going to open back up again. Isn't there a video from the news or of YouTube of Billy Joe and Leilani fighting in the backyard when BJ returns home? Or is that not incorrect? Is that not correct?
No, that's on somebody's YouTube channel. It's deleted now, but yeah.
Yeah, I think so too.
Right. She kept asking Leilani what happened. And Leilani said, I don't know. And she said, tell me what the fuck happened. And she said, I don't know. And she goes, I want the fucking truth. And it went from there. So
yeah. And I think with the phone call, I really think he's calling 911. I think she may have been calling Billy Joe in the background, but I also think when he says, hey, he might be kidnapped, and he's saying, and the 911 operator, you know, well, isn't there locks? And he's like, yeah, you can't get it locked. I think then she's telling him, oh, well, the door is open. You know, like she's covering her tracks on top of it. Yeah.
Like she's like trying to talk to him while she's talking to somebody else, but it's like they're carrying on a conversation because he's like, he can't get out the door.
Right.
Then she says something else, and he's like, yeah, there's bolts on it, but he can't get to those either. Like, you know what I'm saying? He's answering her like, what do you mean?
Right. And I think if he was more involved, the story would have went better in the 911 call. It wouldn't have been,
it just makes me feel like, how was all three of them there and didn't hear a peep?
I feel the same way. I really think they were messed up. I really think that there was drugs involved, and let's hope that I don't even know what to hope.
That could be an easy way to be passed out and not hear shit. To be fucked up.
Oh, absolutely.
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 Like that was option number one in my scenarios. Like like I said last night, this really made me do some thinking because, you know, a lot of people were really harsh on BJ. A lot of people were just all the trauma. Like I've heard her speak multiple times. I've had a couple of conversations with her myself. I know what she said yesterday. And I got to, you know, I went back and I listened to that, and all I kept thinking was, this girl has told her mother something similar to what we're hearing on this, and her mother is saying, you're lying. I want the truth. I want to know what happened. And then think about this mom then saying, listen, if you did this, I am going to take you to jail. I will make sure you are prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law. And now fast forward, here we are, and her mom is standing, like, not only did she take her to law enforcement and say, she's yours and it's your problem now, but now she's having to do the harder part, which is tell God and the court system, which will be a permanent court record from that day forward, what happened in her family. That's a horrible, heavy weight to bear. I think we can all give her a little grace and mercy right now, because she's having to live a life that has nothing to do with choices she made. She was at work, and when she left work, the agreement was, this is how it would be. Everything was put in place, and all because her daughter chose not to follow that. Now she's the one being punished as well as the rest of the family. So I think that we can give BJ a lot of grace and mercy. I rest my case, Your Honor.
I just keep going back to, she said she was going to do, you know, she said if it came back that her daughter did this, she would turn her in herself, and she did. As soon as Leilani called her to come home from rehab, she said she called Chief Hadley and told Chief Hadley that she was getting out, and she wanted to bring her up there. I mean, it would be hard to lose a grandbaby, a daughter, and your other two, because I don't think
Mhm.
she's seen the other ones. I mean, they were taken by CPS or the family, right? I think the baby, I think Danny was trying to get custody of the baby,
Yeah,
but
Danny
I'm
is.
not sure about the older one. But I know that Quentin's dad, he actually, I believe it was his mom and his grandma's, or maybe it was his mom and his brother. I'm not sure.
Mom and his
They got
grandpa.
hit by a car or something and died.
Mom and grandpa. My cricket is extraordinary loud today, and I don't understand. If I could figure out how to turn the damn sound off on it, I would, but it comes preloaded and there's no adjustment for that. Man. Oof. How's everybody feeling today? Wednesday. We're halfway through the week. Still, it's the second. It's the final day of Prime Week. So if there's something that you've been waiting for, you might check Amazon because there's a lot of really good deals on a lot of crap. So, oh yeah, I can't do that, Granny. The Cricut, it moves back and forth, and it's got a cutting blade in it. Yeah, you can't do that, and I don't know. It's just the way the machine works. Okay, perfect. Thank you, Ange. Hump day. Did everybody else leave? Okay. I know, I'm the panel killer. I know, panel killer. I suck. I know. Oof. Yeah, no, I'm not really looking to do that. Wouldn't be able to make my cool crafty things then. Not really looking to break my Cricut. Already dropped it once. Oh, hey, Christina's Journey. Welcome. We appreciate you being here too. Am I by the storm? Oh, hell no. I'm landlocked, guys. We're on fire. Oh, yeah, it's okay. She can go run and chase Duke. No, we just have a wildfire and it's just horrible smoke. Oh, God, it's horrible. You like hearing the cricket? Thanks, Wooddrake. You can call me Angela or Ange. I'm done. Everybody wants to hold me to a standard because I have a name, Voice for the Voiceless. So that's fine. I'm going to move on and do my own thing. Yeah, we need a hurricane. No, I don't know if we really need a hurricane, but we'll have snow soon enough. So it's just unfortunate because there's two towns that are towns that have had to be evacuated, and there's another fire that's outside of Chugwater. So yeah, it's super unfortunate when you live in a state with no humidity and then we get over 100 degrees, and we've been under red flag conditions for probably 4 or 6 weeks now. Just is what it is. Hey, Blank Slate, how are you? Hope you're having a great hump day.
Well, I guess it's just me and you up here.
That's okay. I'm holding her down. Oh, yeah.
I didn't know the other two girls. Well, I didn't know they took off, but.
Oh, well, they hit us and ran, huh? Drive-bys.
Listen, did you hear about that fucking baby? Listen, oh my God, my heart hurts for this.
Come on, Linda.
There's 3 pit bulls, and the mother and father had their baby was like a year old. I'm guessing like maybe like 9 months, 10 months. He just learned to walk.
No.
And they took him to the babysitter, and the babysitter had 3 pit bulls, and she left the baby home with her 13-year-old daughter. The pit bulls got into a fight and went for the baby, and they actually like broke through the door and attacked this 13-year-old girl to get to the baby and ripped the baby out of her arms. She at one point was playing tug of war with the baby, with the dog over the baby.
God.
Trying to get the baby out of away from the dog, and she said this 13-year-old girl is like traumatized, and her mom was arrested. They arrested her mom and charged her. The baby actually just passed away, went into cardiac arrest, but he was in ICU, so they didn't charge her with his murder because of course he was still alive at that point, but he just passed away today.
Oh shit, we'll be charged.
Yeah, for sure. There was another. There was just a case where pit bulls attacked an older gentleman that was walking with his wife down the road. He died. The husband got 20 years and the wife got 10 in prison.
Well, I know that there's some landlords and some homeowners insurance will not let you have specific, like that's one of the breeds they will not allow you to have. And it doesn't matter how the dog is raised. It's just if you have one of those, any incident will void your homeowner's policy. It's pretty awful.
Yeah, some pit bulls are just sweet as can be, and some of them are just really fucked up.
And it doesn't matter. Like, do you remember? Well, I mean, you are younger than I am, but anybody that's Gen X, do you remember Doberman Pinschers? Doberman Pinschers, especially back in the late 70s, early 80s, they had been overbred so much that their brain would grow too big for their skull, and they would become very aggressive. Oh my God. I cannot wait until my new mats arrive. My mats are not sticky enough, and I'm struggling to make the cuts I need to make. Sorry. I'll be honest, pit bulls, Rottweilers, I love them. I've had some of the most kindest, gentlest experiences with them, but they also scare the fuck out of me. I respect them, and I respect any owner that has them, because it takes a very special owner to be able to have a good dog that can be an aggressive, even with like little dogs, like even my Shih Tzu. They can be fucking.
Well, yeah, they say Chihuahuas are dangerous as fuck. Have you seen the damage that Chihuahuas can do to children and other dogs?
Yeah. Yes.
Holy shit, dude. I'm not just blaming pit bulls or nothing like that. I mean, I'm just saying, I believe it's in the owner. I know that there's some things that do factor in, like inbred, with like people, inbreeding their animals or whatever. You know what I'm saying? I know there's other things that can cause. I mean, I'm just saying, like, I think it's all dogs that.
Absolutely, I agree with you.
I just feel like there's more. We hear about pit bulls more because,
yes,
they're
on that list of dogs, And right now, what is almost every shelter full of? Have you noticed it lately? Or especially, or is it where you're at too? Because everyone, like all the bully breeds are pit bull, Stafford, all of those are all, unfortunately, they are all bull. And shelters here, it's ridiculous. And our shelters euthanize. They get like 48 hours and then they just are done with them because they're so overrun lately. I've been in the market for a tiny dog and I cannot find one. The next one I can find is like in Albuquerque, New Mexico. So I may need to make a friend in Albuquerque that wants to drive halfway. I need to get one. I need to get a new tiny dog so that Mason can teach them the ropes. Mason's getting older and he's all of our dogs that have been raised around Mason have now passed on. So he's the last of, he's turning into the old man of the group. And if I don't get him a little buddy soon, I think it's going to be rougher. And then I might, it's, you know, I've never not had a dog. Oh man, oh, Jack Russell got Heather. Your nephew was mauled today. Think about Chasing's daughter. Chasing, look at all the dogs that Chasing has, and how, you know, her daughter has known this dog and walked this dog and all of that. And look what happened to her. It's totally, I mean, in the end, we try to domesticate them, but they're still a wild animal. You know, dogs, and it's awful. You were attacked by a Chihuahua, Shelby Lynn? Oh my goodness. I got a story about that. So I don't know if you guys remember, I used to have a tiny dog named Tucker. He was an apple-headed Chihuahua. He was, he picked me. I didn't pick him. He picked me, and then he ended up saving my life after I saved his, right? So because of that and him being a very special little tiny dog, I kind of gave him a lot of leeway. I took him and I had him, like, we went through every training course we could. He got certified to go into nursing homes and the hospital so that we could go visit. This dog could actually fly, even though my anxiety prevented me from being able to fly. Right. So this dog went everywhere with me. I had a front pack for him. Like he was my ride or die. He was my Mason before I had Mason. Where I used to live in Billings, one of the homes had it was right off, like it was like one off from the main downtown, like one block over and one block off. And so there was this tree that grew and there was dirt, and Tucker, his favorite thing was to lay in the sun on the hot dirt. Well, that was also a heavily bicycled area, and there was only one thing Tucker did not like, and it was bicycles. Absolutely hated them. Tucker in one summer tipped 27 bicyclists off their bikes because he'd be laying there like looking like a dead dog in the sun, and they would get right up by him, and he would pop up and he would pop off, and those front legs would like bounce off the ground because he'd be yapping so hard. He wouldn't lunge at him or anything. He'd just pop up and pop off. And in one summer, he tipped 27 bicyclists off their bikes.
Is this your dog?
Yes. He's dead now.
Bitch, I laughed so fucking hard. Somebody said, I have a picture of her walking her dog. I fucking died laughing. I said, bitch, no, you don't. My dogs don't go on leashes, and Duke leaves the yard every fucking day. That fucking shit stain, gosh dang, man.
got a picture of you walking your dog. And
Yeah, allegedly they have a picture of my kid or me walking a dog. Something about walking a fucking dog. I said, I know that's a motherfucking lie. My fat ass ain't walking no fucking dog for one of my. And Duke leaves the fucking yard and runs off every fucking chance he gets. So that's a fucking lie.
oh my god, Jesus Christ. I'm about done with these motherfuckers being so invasive in your life. Like, they need to go
Well,
find.
you know they're gonna talk. I mean, come on now. This is the name
I
of the
know.
game. That's why I said don't pay attention to them. This is
Yep.
Griffmas. We know what time it is. It is what it is.
Ice them
Come on
out.
now.
Ice, baby. Ice, baby. Yeah. Nope. I had a very dangerous Chihuahua that, like I said, he had a great record one summer. He tipped 27 bicyclists off their bikes. And one was a guy that, like, he got him at least once a week. He always tried, like, this dude always tried to make friends with Tucker, and Tucker was like, get the fuck away from me. Nope. I only like you because I can tip you off your bicycle. So I get it. All dogs can be assholes. Dude, I knew a guy who had a black lab that, man, that motherfucker to eat your face right off. His name was Buck. Because he didn't give a fuck. Yeah.
Shit, like I said, I was out there with my fucking hair off to the side. It was fucking 10 o'clock in the morning chasing that little bastard down. Fucker.
Oh my god.
Oh, that I lied about my dogs passing away. That's what now. Who the fuck would lie about some dumbass shit like that? Come on now. It's what the fuck.
We don't lie about dogs passing away. I'm sorry.
See, we had to have our boxer put to sleep, and then my Tilly baby, my little Chi. Man, I'll tell you what, she got so sick, and like she was only 3 pounds, so I should have had her fixed, but she wasn't. You know what I mean? We didn't have her around any other dogs, like that to be.
The problem with
And
that,
I was scared
is
because she was only 3 pounds. I was like, "Fuck, she's so tiny. I don't want her to, you know what I'm saying? Go under anesthesia with she's only 3 pounds, so I didn't want to risk her." And I should have because, her uterus ruptured and she passed away from the surgery. She had a blood clot right after her surgery.
Oh, damn. I remember that. I still have her sitting here.
Good. Let me see them because I'm sure they're fucking hilarious, dude. I swear to God, that is the best.
Where? Keep the screen up, but look at the screen. There's your little Tilly bean.
What'd you say about the screen? I'm sorry, I didn't hear you.
Keep the screen up, but look at the screen. There's your Tilly bean.
Oh, I do see her. Oh, that's cute.
It's made out of paper for you, and I put stickies on the back. Boxes are going out this week. I've been sending out one box a week, or multiple boxes every day. I keep going to the post office.
Stitching says, I don't chase Lincoln. I just say come, and he does. Well, I have to bribe mine with fucking dog treats, okay?
Well, I mean, I have to be bribed with dog treats to run most days, too. Or not really dog treats, but I have to be bribed with treats to run. So there's that. I don't willingly run around without being bribed. No. Nope, got an anti-running policy. Must be bribed to run. 1 more month. And Shanae will have her.
I wonder if Dolly's going to go in the courtroom. You know, is PJ with him? Is she going to sit outside and like do updates, and he's going to be in the courtroom, or is she going to be in the courtroom, or what? Smoke him if you got him, T-Berry.
I don't even know. I didn't even think about that. Oh, Lord.
Dolly's back home. What the fuck? I thought he was going to go to the trial.
I thought he was still supposed to be taking it easy.
Yeah, I did too.
Like, I just don't even, whatever. Not my problem, not my circus, not my monkey.
Oh, wait a minute. Bama G said my bully just had emergency surgery from Pi. PYO, is that Pi Mitra? Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah,
however it said, Pimitra, or whatever.
The same infection.
Yeah, that's what my dog died from. Yep.
Yep, that's what her bully just had.
Well, prayers for your sweet baby. She actually didn't die from that. She died from a blood clot after her surgery. Yeah, and we didn't even know she was sick until it took us about 2 days to figure out what was going on. So by the 3rd day, when she had her 24 hours of antibiotics and fluids, she was able to go into surgery. She had her surgery and then passed away not even 45 minutes after her surgery. This is like 30 to 45 minutes from a blood clot. It broke my whole fucking soul, man.
I know.
Shattered my motherfucking soul, Jack. That was my baby. And I got stuck with fucking Duke.
Damn it.
God damn it. We have a love-hate relationship. I love to hate him. He loves to hate me. He loves to fucking do shit just to piss me right the fuck off.
Don't we know Mason has those
Yeah,
kind of
Eris, Duke took over. He's in fucking charge. And because I'll tell you what, my Chihuahua wasn't large and in charge. They didn't fuck around with her. She didn't play.
That's how my little Tucker was. Tucker was like, no, motherfucker. No.
Shit.
I am small and I am mighty, and you will respect me. Even Birdie respected Tiny Tucker. Oh, man. She totally, yep. There were 2 things that Birdie respected, which were Big Cat and my little Tiny Tucker. Other than that, Birdie didn't respect Dick. Birdie still doesn't respect anything. She's quite the little hoodlum still.
And I actually have more dogs than just Duke. The one you guys hear sleeping is Voodoo. She's the one that snores all the time. Her and Nala and Duke, they lay there. See, Nala is like a French. She's like a little Frenchie, and she looks like that. There was like a little cartoon called like Dragon something, and she looks just like the little dragon Toothless.
Oh my goodness. How to Train Your Dragon.
Yes, How to Train Your Dragon. So the little black dragon on there, because she's all black, she looks just like Toothless.
Oh my God. I know what you're talking about. I did watch some of that one time. I need to finish watching that. I think that's on Netflix. Oh my god, I might have just made the cutest haunted house. You have 8 babies, 7 basset hounds, and 1 psycho mini dachshund. And 5 are medical rescues. I have rescued guinea pigs, 2, and of course my green cheek conure. Oh, Shelby Lynn's a verb lady queen. Christina's journeyed, gifted 5 Queen Bee memberships. If you got one, don't forget to thank her. You have a toothless too. You are the snack dealer and the door opener. Yep. I think Mason thinks that's part of my world, is to, some birds can be mean. Yep. I had an African gray, and then we got up one morning and it was dead in the bottom of its cage. It had a lot of anxiety from its former life. Anyway, it lived in a car with a guy for like 4 years. That's terribly sad, I know. I know. But when we first got him, you couldn't even handle him. He loved me, and he used to consistently puke on me. God, it drove me nuts. I was terrified of him for the longest time. Just terrified. His beak was so big and terrified. Always afraid because he liked to sit on my shoulder. So I was always afraid he was going to like take my eyeball out, chop my lip off. And then one day I was no longer terrified of him. Or grand doggy pit bulls. Mixed. You never know, you're right. You just never know. In the end, they're still a wild animal. Hell, I don't even trust the horses. In the end, they're still a wild animal. I thought I had one more adulting project I had to do today, but if I did, it's totally slipped my mind. But it's okay because there's still 2 more days in the week. So, and I don't feel like adulting today. I'm too busy crafting. So, it's just the way it's going to be today. That's just the way it is. Some people will never change. That's just the way it is. Uh-oh, I'm getting a squeaky chair. It's groaning. Okay. Even Rottweilers. Hey, I've met mean Australian Shepherds. I've met mean poodle pointers like Birdie. Depending on who you are, Birdie may or may not like you. But for somebody like me that has been around her since she was born, absolutely not. Like, there is no such thing as an attitude. Nope. I'll make her roll over and give me her belly every damn time till she figures it out.
Sorry, I had to switch back over.
Nope, you're good. You're good, sweetie.
Well, I probably should go ahead and get off here. I got shit I got to get done.
Okay.
You know.
All right. I will see you around. Thanks for letting me hang out. I got my little house all cut out, so I'm going to continue to start. Now I'm going to start gluing.
Super
Anyway.
cool. We'll be back on here going, we'll go over Betty's streaming shit because I know she went live, so we'll go over that here in a little while. But I got to get done, and I don't want to leave you up here if my phone dies and shit, you know?
No, dude, I really appreciate that. I really appreciate you thinking about that. I know it's an imposition to cut it off and shut it down, but I really appreciate that.
Yeah, I appreciate you guys too. Thank you for hanging out. You know what I mean? Staying when you can and stuff.
Yep, I'm glad I could help today. We'll see you later.
Thank you,
Bye.
baby. We'll talk to you later, love. Bye, everybody. I appreciate y'all being here. Thank you for hanging out, and I'll catch y'all on the flip side. I'll be back on here later tonight.